Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to a brand new episode of Behind the Counter. I almost said Matt Men. This is our 101st episode, and we're the 101st Airborne of comic books. My name is Rich Stambolian. I'm your host, and with me, as always, the Adam Levine to my Blake Shelton, Jonathan Adler.
Who's Blake Shelton?
He's the country guy. I call him Country Muntry. I don't know why.
What do you mean?
It's on The Voice.
Oh.
Yeah.
You watch Voice?
Sometimes. Yeah. I kind of wish CeeLo would do a run-in sometimes.
He's on the show anymore?
Yeah. I think it's like Ursher.
Ursher.
It can't be called anything else, man.
Ursher?
Ursher. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It's Ursh. That's what I do.
Usher.
That's Ursher.
Oh, I was wrong.
Agree or disagree. Chat room.
Is it Usher or Usher?
Is it Usher?
Usher.
Is it Usher or Ursher? Anyway, this is
Do you really think his name is Ursher?
No, it's Usher. I know it's Usher. I was watching. I think somebody introduced him on an award show years ago, and it was like, yeah, without further ado, Ursher.
Ursher.
Doing like the southern, the
So
southern
weird.
rap thing.
They don't have Ushers down south.
No, Urshers. They got Urshers.
Ushers.
Anyway, this is your weekly dose of comic book and pop fiction,
And STDs.
pop culture, STDs.
Pimples. You guys like pimples?
So we've kind of bounced around a little bit since our 100th episode, which is great.
We've been all around town.
I think we
Bring the show on the road.
we celebrated pretty hard after our 100th episode.
Yeah, I had a really bad day the next day.
Did
in
you?
terms of hangover, yeah.
I agree.
I was in really bad shape. This guy was okay.
It was all his martinis. I don't think this guy was okay.
Yeah.
He was lying.
You don't think I was okay?
No.
Why? I was like a robot. I wasn't even loaded there.
I was like a robot. You had, like,
There was a great picture of Jess and I
Oh, at the
mortified.
shocked, yeah.
Mortified at something. Who was sitting? Vicky saying.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
mortified.
Yeah.
And then I'm dying to remember what that conversation was.
You weren't mortified. I think it was just you just both decided to yawn inside your hands.
No. It was like a shocked look.
Did she say she was gonna put rat poison in your martini?
Yeah. I think that's what it was.
You had like 7 martinis, man.
I did.
Like,
I was coming close to blacking out at one point. I'm serious. I was like, I haven't drank that much in a long time.
yeah.
I really was like, all right, it's time for me to go. Like I had the whole thing in my head. Like I don't know how to stand right.
You did this a couple times. You went, huh?
Did I?
Yeah. You were like, you were kind of like in the conversation, but you weren't, and you go, huh?
That's probably the right time.
I hate saying this, but I was afraid it was gonna be like the scene from Wolf of Wall Street. Like, got in the car, drove her home, no problem. And then the next morning, like,
Well, we all raced our cars when we left.
that's true.
I think I stayed for another drink after you guys left.
we were outlaws. I'm pretty sure you walked out with us, man.
No, I stayed.
Did you?
You guys left, yeah. I
Like
stayed
by
at the bar.
yourself, or you stayed with?
No,
your
just
wife?
stayed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good time.
It was ludicrous. Thank you, Chad Michael Punk. Sure.
For sure.
So what's up, man?
Not a whole lot, man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's opening up this week.
I know, it's pretty nuts, man. You get Captain America,
It's
Spider-Man.
Great.
We're getting a new Batman this year.
I might go see the
Godzilla.
world premiere of X-Men.
X-Men, yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know. I got like a free tickets for the X-Men event.
The X-Men.
In
Yeah.
Manhattan.
Yeah.
Nice. Where at?
I don't know.
Okay. It's probably gonna be downtown.
Lincoln Center or something like that.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 2. First Spider-Man movie to get a negative rating on
Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah.
Really?
Certified Rotten.
No.
Wait a minute. Over
way.
the third one?
Over the third one.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
That
That's
bad.
insane.
The third one was well received kind of early on.
Yeah.
This is certified rotten because it's over 57% rotten.
But why? Who would think the third one was a good movie?
I don't know.
We did when we first saw it.
Yeah, like begrudgingly. I think we both loaded. We saw that movie
Very low.
because we left work at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon and then got hammered. We had road beers, all
Yeah.
type of stuff.
we had a
Took
bunch of other
whippets.
stuff. We went to a diner and met Tony, and we both thought he was a murderer because he came in with the hood.
Oh, that's right.
And we were like in the movie theater parking lot, like just kind of
That's right.
loopy. And then we saw the movie and we're like, this is amazing. And then like the next day we're like,
That movie wasn't amazing.
that was terrible. That was like
Really
an awful,
terrible.
awful movie. I will defend the fact that the original Sandman transformation
It's awesome.
was the coolest part of the movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold up.
Mm.
The Spider-Man flicks do not hold up.
Nothing. None of them do.
Nothing. I'm really excited about this one. I love Spider-Man. I didn't realize I was watching TV the other night and it was like May 2nd, Spider-Man. I was like, what? I thought it was like August,
Nah, it's happening, man. It's all happening right now.
It's an interesting year for movies as far as blockbusters go, because we got Cap, Spider-Man, X-Men, 3 Marvel movies, right? Godzilla. Throw Godzilla in there.
I'm looking forward to Godzilla.
What else is on the horizon for this year as far as like mega movies go?
Lone Ranger's coming out, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think it's I think a lot of them are scaling back on big blockbusters. I think there's a Tom Cruise like sci-fi movie coming out.
Oh great.
In terms of like superhero stuff, I think that's it, right? That's the
Scientology the movie.
Yeah, I can't think of what else is coming out in the rest of the month.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting in like apart from the 3 Marvel flicks. I don't think we're getting anything for the rest of the year. Unless something pops up that we just completely forgot about.
More than likely.
What happened?
Probably more than likely.
Yeah. I hope the new X-Men movie is as good as the trailers that they're showing.
I don't think the trailers are good at all.
I really enjoy the trailers apart from them showing the Sentinels because like I still think they look like garbage.
They look like shit.
But I kind of like I like the cast, man. It's a good cast. You're smashing all the X-Men flicks together. You have Jennifer Lawrence. Love Jennifer Lawrence. Fassbender.
Guarantee she's only in the movie for like 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. Let's do your prediction.
Fassbender's gonna be great.
Fassbender. Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
Just chewing. They're gonna have amazing scenes together. Patrick Stewart, McAvoy, great scenes together. Hugh Jackman's the one tying factor. I would like to see a little bit of like an old man Logan in this. Maybe like if they really mess around with
like legitimate old man Logan or like an older Logan.
Like legitimate old man Logan.
I'd love that.
How old?
Well, old man Logan.
But he doesn't age.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
Not by much. He's like 350 years old.
No.
How old is he?
He was born in the late 1800s, right?
Yeah.
Just about over a little 100 years old.
Let's say 150.
Yeah.
Okay.
At one point, we thought he was like 350 years old.
okay.
Like he was like way back in the day.
That's right. The new Turtles movie.
New Turtles movie.
I have no problem with the new Turtles movie. I like the way they look.
Don't like it.
It's
Michael Bay, man.
I'm cool with it, man. I like the Transformers flicks. Transformers 4.
Transformers 4. New Transformers movie this year.
I love it. I want more. I want it all. I like Dark of the Moon.
So did I. I did like that movie. X-Men Days of Future Past. Maleficent coming out. Yeah. Made in America. All these great movies.
But
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. That's true. 4 Marvel movies this year. That was the one that we forgot about completely, which I think it has like an August due date.
Yeah, it is August.
Listen, I'm looking forward to that. We've talked about that movie at length. The X-Men movie, because this is supposed to be the make it or break it for the franchise. And, like the first 2 X-Men movies, the first X-Men movie doesn't hold up. X-Men 2 holds up for the most part.
For the most part.
X-Men 3, terrible friggin' movie.
You know my problem is with the X-Men movies, and it shows in the trailer too for the new ones.
It's
a lot of turning and looking at the camera. Like a good chunk of it is like, Singer really
staring at the camera.
Well, they're posing.
Yeah, a lot of them, like, almost all the shots of Days of Future Past on the commercial is them like turning and looking directly at the camera, like they're looking in awe in the distance. And the same thing with like, most of the movies where a lot of like Wolverine standing and then turning and looking.
Yeah.
He likes dudes.
Stoked posing.
Because he likes dudes.
Yeah. Do you think so?
Who? Singer?
Oh, he's Singer.
Hugh Jackman? Definitely.
Okay.
Jackman, definitely. Jackman, I have no doubt in my mind that he is a very happy gay man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is it the older wife that makes you think that?
It's the older wife from the Broadway.
Okay.
It's the you just made $1 bajillion on X-Men being the world's toughest man, and the first thing you do is the story about the gayest man on Broadway.
Hey, listen, you gotta.
He's completely talented, man. I love the dude.
But do you think Michael Douglas is gay for playing Liberace?
No. No, Michael Douglas went on record that he got mouth cancer from going down on ladies too much. I'm pretty sure he's okay.
I could play anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how to feel about the X movie. I saw the trailer the other night when during Raw, and I'm like, apart from the Sentinel,
You get excited about Blink and Bishop. That's why.
I get excited about Bishop. Yeah. I love Bishop. Blink, I could whatever. I like Blink the character in the comic book. great in the comic, but
Long-haired Bishop.
not so much, man. Oh yeah, I want the dreadlocked M-face Bishop, but they're gonna do like, see, that's the thing that lets this movie be its own entity, is that they don't really have to follow anything because you're smashing a lot of crap together, you know. And with every superhero movie, we always say the same thing: just give us some cameos and give us some hints and blah 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 blah.
You get Apocalypse.
I don't think we're gonna get Apocalypse.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the Blink thing. Right?
Well, the next movie
Okay.
is Apocalypse.
Okay. I want Bishop.
Morph.
Huh?
You want Morph?
I want Morph. I want the Bishop Gambit stuff. I wouldn't mind it.
Is Gambit in the movie?
No.
No.
But that was the whole thing. That was
Yeah.
like one of the best. I don't know about best at this point in time, but that was one of the more interesting X-Men storylines that was still convoluted. That went for years. You know.
Well, I think that and I love that storyline. I
Right.
think that the payoff was pretty crappy, onslaught and everything, but it was like one of the great feuds and mysteries that are out there.
Like who kills Professor X?
But I think knowing Singer and what he's did with the other two X-Men movies, I think they're going to be a little bit more than just like dudes in the background, like in terms of Bishop. I don't think
Okay.
you're going to get much meat to his like time traveling. You're not going to get the idea of like the man, the mission. I think he's just going to be another soldier in future team.
I want Cable.
I want Cable. Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
wants on Cable.
Cable would be cool. Cable would make a lot of sense, especially with the time travel stuff.
Well, Forge.
Bishop,
Yeah.
all those guys from that time.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing about Forge is that I feel like you could put him in the movie and you can completely recast him as somebody who is totally young.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to
Yeah.
see the see-through leg.
What's see-through like?
He had like a glass
Oh,
leg.
the cyber leg.
Yeah, it was glass.
No, it was a robot.
I thought it was glass.
I think there was some part. I think you
Yeah.
could see like the
You could
circuitry and
see,
part of it. Yeah. You're definitely. I think you're definitely gonna get Cable in this, just because I think the next thing they're doing is working on the X-Force property.
Okay. Get some Cable and Apocalypse at the end.
Yeah.
You know, who would you pick for Cable?
I
Would you go a young version of Cable, or would you go
No.
straight like?
go old
Grizzly.
gnarly. Yeah,
like
man.
50s, late 50s.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would get. Who's that dude? There was
Are we thinking of the same guy?
probably
The dude from Band of Brothers who's in Justified.
the one that was in Band
got-
of Brothers and Justified.
Got white hair.
No, he's too polished.
Okay.
I want like a guy who has legitimate like cracks in his face. That dude who was
You know who?
Who?
The father in the Sons of Anarchy.
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman
Yeah.
can't. No,
No.
I can see where you're going with that. He does have the really gnarly face for it. He wouldn't be able to do it.
Or the guy in Hellboy. No, same guy.
Same guy.
Yeah.
He could. Be, I like those two guys. Two good actors. He could barely walk across the room. I don't think he's gonna be very good
Yeah.
with the giant gun. Remember? Did you see Avatar? You saw Avatar?
The general.
Yeah,
Or
that
the
guy.
Major or whatever.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah,
Nah.
yeah. I've seen him in other stuff. He's good, man.
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon. I don't know.
I think Michael Shannon would be excellent.
I think he'd
man.
be good in the franchise. I don't think it's good as Cable.
Picture him with the scars across his eye, and
You want a younger guy?
and white hair. You know.
So you're okay with going with a younger guy, like mid-30s, early 40s, and then just put white hair on him?
Well, let's dissect the character for a minute, because like Cable was always of like ambiguous age, because he's Cyclops' son that got jettisoned into the future. Right. You don't know how old he is when he came back. Right.
You're assuming he's like in his 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I think his age range could be late 30s to early 50s.
Well, that's the thing, is that and also you've had different Cables. Like you've had him come back from different eras. Like, you know, the original Cable, like the Liefeld stuff,
Right.
he was like late 40s, early 50s.
Right.
Right? And then you got like the Joe Kelly stuff.
Mhm.
And he was like a young, like white-haired Steve Martin type. Like
Right.
like a 30-year-old.
Without the comedy.
Yeah, without the comedy, just like a laser staff. So yeah, you could do. I mean, as long as you got white hair and a glowing eye, that you got something with the
And
guy.
a cybernetic arm.
And a cybernetic arm, pretty important.
Got to get that robot arm.
But he doesn't have that anymore.
Well,
if they go with the gigantic, stupid robot hand,
the missile arm.
Yeah, the missile arm.
How awful does Quicksilver look in the movie?
Looks terrible.
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 In the Avengers stuff, he looks fantastic.
I haven't seen any of the Avengers.
That's the.
stuff.
I can't tell you.
Why not?
Did I tell you?
That's the end of Captain America.
Yeah, you get to see the two of them.
Did you get to see You get to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver?
Yeah.
Or cool.
Yeah.
Who plays Scarlet Witch?
The hot Olsen sister, the one that's not twin.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other one is the guy who's playing Quicksilver right now. Also, he's very good. They're both like good actors. They didn't overdo anything with it. They didn't like put stupid silver hair, like
no.
product in his hair. Or
Is he
like
in the
that.
green?
He's gonna be. I think he's in a green. No, you can't see you don't see the costumes.
Oh, all right.
But you also
In
see
the movie?
Yeah.
In what, X-Men?
Avengers.
Oh, in X-Men, he's wearing like this weird.
Yeah, he looks terrible.
With the goggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like Apollo Ono.
He's like a CD disc man on him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's weird. Who would you cast as Cable?
I really would go for the general.
Just like the general from.
Or
from
like
Avatar.
there's another dude. Did you watch House of Cards at all?
Yes.
Did you watch Generation Kill at all?
No.
Oh.
I got a good pick. Hear me out. It's not
Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang with Ant-Man?
I'm looking here.
Jeff Goldblum.
He wants to be Cable.
Who's that?
Celery Man.
Celery Man.
Cable. It's not Josh Holloway.
Not Josh Holloway. Okay.
But
I don't believe you.
It's almost
Even though you're telling me it's not Josh Holloway.
it's kind of in the realm of Josh Holloway. I feel like he has the potential to be a really good actor, but I think him playing Cable would be perfect and has nothing to do with the Terminator franchise. Sam Worthington.
No, thank you. We've done that already.
Why not?
Because he's not that great. I think that he's just like a dude who was in an action franchise and was picked at the right time. Was at the right time. I don't think there's anything beyond that guy.
Have you seen Wrath of the Titans?
Yeah, I have. I've shown both of them.
Great friggin' movie.
Well, how about The Rock?
I like no.
That's Cable.
No.
Totally different.
I honestly don't want Rock doing anything else except for being Hercules for the rest of his life.
He's a big guy.
I would love him to see. I wish he was Marvel Hercules.
I know. Did you see the Hercules trailer?
No.
Freaking fantastic.
Yeah. The guy can't make a bad movie.
Robert
That's
Layfield
not
wants it
true.
to be The Rock.
Rob Liefeld. How am I not getting these things in my ear?
Because he's making it up.
No, I am. No, I'm not. I'm not making it up.
He's like, yeah, making it up, making all
I'm
this
looking at a
news
tweet
up.
that Robert Layfield put out.
Who's Robert Layfield?
Rob Liefeld.
Rob Liefeld.
Rob Liefeld.
That The Rock should be Cable.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
But yeah, but you know what? Like Cyclops is played by Sam Worthington's perfect because he kind of you could say like, oh, he's the guy who plays he's James Marsden's kid. It's from the future.
Why, in that case, why don't you just get James Marsden and play Cable?
Why not?
I'm okay with that.
I also hope that dude comes back as Cyclops.
It's never gonna. They ruined that, man.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
It's
man.
like the Ultimate Universe where like you kill a character and like, oh shit, we shouldn't have killed Wolverine. Like, what do we do with Wolverine now?
Your three best casting choices for that X-Men franchise were Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Mhm.
The guy really worked out.
Patrick Stewart,
and
Ian McKellen.
friggin' James Marsden.
Yeah.
Ian McKellen, I always felt was a little too old.
He is too old, but he's great at it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's great as Magneto, but it's just
Yeah.
he is an old man. He's a
Yeah.
very frail looking
The
old man.
first
Ain't
one he
getting
was
younger
okay in.
either.
I mean, he got
Yeah.
by the last one.
If they somehow figure out how to
Yeah.
keep Fassbender around, he like put gray hair on that guy, let him age. Like he is a great consummate Magneto.
Oh, he's the perfect Magneto. And I like McAvoy as Professor
He's tremendous
X, man.
at it, yeah.
He's awesome.
Well, that cast, I have no worries about that cast.
the Origins cast.
Yeah, I think they're all gonna be fantastic. I think that stuff is gonna be great.
You got Blue
Peter
Beast.
Dinklage is gonna be great. But it's the holdover. Like I was very
Halle
happy.
Berry.
Yeah, I was very happy.
Halle Berry was not awful as
Yes, she was.
Storm. You think so?
Absolutely, she's the worst thing.
I mean, she was awful, but
She wasn't that bad.
as far as like looking for the role, like fitting the role.
Yeah, she is. Listen, Storm is a really great character when it comes down to it. She's an African thief, claustrophobic, was buried under a pile of rubble, became an African goddess of weather, and then became a thief in Japan with a mohawk. Awesome.
My pick for Storm would be
Zoe Saldana,
no. That's good.
that new chick from the Slave movie, 12 Years a Slave.
No. I didn't see it. And I totally forgot her name. She didn't kill Bill. She's Larry David's wife.
No,
Yes.
she's too old now.
Well, no,
maybe
no,
maybe
she's
like
not.
maybe when she's still
Halle
like
Berry's like 50.
yeah, but she looks great. Like I'll give her that much. She does look.
Mhm.
She looks great. I guess.
It's gonna bother me now that I can't remember her
Who?
name.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
No.
How about the girl from Scandal?
Kerry Washington.
Yeah.
Nah. I like her, but nah.
I like her too.
She was from what's her name?
Wasn't she in
Django.
Wasn't she
Yeah.
in
Django Unchained.
Wasn't she in the third X-Men movie though?
Kerry Washington.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wasn't she one of the Morrison characters? She had like the wings on her back, or X-Men Origins. Am I thinking of the right? Am I thinking
Different
of the right
girl.
person? Okay.
Yeah.
Different girl.
Different black girl,
Different
Rich.
black girl.
Sorry,
They can't all be Jada Pinkett Smith.
not a racist.
Very good. Very good.
I also hope that she comes nowhere near the X-Men movies. But is this going to be the nail in the coffin for the franchise?
No, I don't think so. I think it's probably going to make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be very good.
You don't think this one's going to be good?
Not at all. I don't think it's going to.
But why? Because of the direction or because of the storyline?
I think the director, mostly. I think X-Men First Class was them going in the absolute right direction for X-Men.
Yeah.
And then now we're taking steps back to making it really carbon copy, a lot of like silver backgrounds and like
Carbon copy of what?
of the other X-Men movies, of the
Like
first
the
two
first
X-Men.
two, first
which
three.
are just they're very like Philip Glass, very like quiet rooms and like not very X-Men. Like X-Men, like in my eyes,
Chaos.
is punk rock.
Yeah.
It's young people. It's like it's really and it's cool.
X-Men 2.
Well, yeah, in general, like
Yeah.
X-Men 2 had a lot of that stuff because a lot of young people in it. And there's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of like cool stuff to do. X-Men Origins was perfect. It was all young people that are having sex with each other. They're going out and have a good time. There's and there's worry about racism and everything. It was good. It was good and solid. This just becomes like Hugh Jackman close-ups
Yeah.
and
The
Ian
entire
McKellen.
movie, yeah.
X-Men translates well when it's a really amped up and violent Degrassi.
Yeah.
Because it's
But I mean, that was a story. It was just like these wild teenagers that had all these powers, and this one guy that was trying to like be like, "Hey, listen, don't blow up the world."
Yeah.
Let's
use
help
it
each
for
other.
good.
Yeah.
That was like the story. But I feel like for most people, X-Men they don't know that aspect of X-Men.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That's every iteration of X-Men has.
Like the underlining story of X-Men is pretty much a civil rights movement, right? Like
okay.
partially.
partially,
Yeah.
But people don't even see that. Like they can't put that together.
well, because I think
I think it's equality for everybody.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the equality thing gets across. I think because we have superheroes in the same universe, it takes away from the whole mutant problem.
Yeah.
Like, there's other guys that are a lot more dangerous. Like the Hulk is a lot more dangerous than like worrying about,
Right.
the girl with the butterfly wings.
Like I think that old people
Smashing
see
Pumpkins
is,
one, right?
like people go to the movie and they're like, "Oh, look, it's Wolverine." That's it.
Yeah,
Like,
but I'm saying,
that's
but the essence of the movies were that they're different and they need to be protected by this old
Yeah.
man in a
Right.
wheelchair.
Who taught them how to love, and because like that's a whole allegory for puberty, racism,
Growing up.
statutory rape with Wolverine.
Yeah.
puberty, racism, and homophobia,
Yeah.
xenophobia. It's
Yeah.
like that's what the X-Men represent. I don't think that translates in the screen at all.
Yeah.
But whatever. You got to make a movie.
Well, they always do
you
the same crappy thing. They have like a picket, and they have like some like asinine, like stereotypical racist guy, and
Oh, I thought all mutants.
Magneto wraps a
You mutie.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Magneto wraps a car around his head and
Right. Yeah.
call it a day.
Yeah. Because he's the militant.
How closely is this following the storyline, like from the comic book?
The original.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know how it plays out yet in terms of.
But have they
this
said-
movie?
Yeah. Because
I mean,
Days of Future Past was
famous story.
81. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was only 2 issues, also.
Yeah.
But it's one of the well-known ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had Wolverine looking like Paulie Walnuts.
Yeah.
Like
running
the most
around.
defining thing about Days of Future Past was the first time you got to see the future in X-Men.
Right.
That was the first time you had a future storyline where the characters still exist.
Alternate reality.
Yeah.
and remember, this is a sequel of the one from 8 years ago,
The
from Last Stand. This is the sequel to Last Stand.
no Origins.
No.
It's both.
Days of Future
Yeah.
Past acts as a sequel to You're
To
right.
Origins
Yeah,
and
First
Last
Class,
Stand.
because it's both of those universes
Right,
coming
yeah.
together.
And it's trying to rectify the
And
X-Men 3, basically.
They're not gonna make. I don't think they're gonna make mention to Last Stand beyond, like Cyclops is dead and Phoenix is dead.
I guarantee you that your resolution for this flick is
Mind warp.
Phoenix coming,
Danger Room.
Jean Grey coming back,
Of course.
and Cyclops possibly coming back. You're gonna get Cable and Apocalypse. The next movie I could see being Age of Apocalypse,
It is Age of Apocalypse.
which would be really interesting.
Well, that's what I think. What they're gonna do.
I'm
is,
a big fan of Age of
Then
Apocalypse.
you'll love the next movie.
You know what though? I think they'll ruin it.
What they're gonna do is they're probably gonna, since they have all this time travel stuff, they'll probably kill young Xavier in this and cause a weird.
And then they have to
time-
go back. Yeah.
See what I would like to happen is, and we might get it, is that just to separate the movie from its contemporaries, I would love this X-Men movie to end on a downer.
Mhm.
So you kind of want to see where it goes, like how screwed up did they make the future?
And I'd like to see him
Yeah.
spend more time, aside from Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like he does have. I think he's probably one of the better things going on in the series. But let's get a little bit more beastie time and some more Banshee stuff.
And you saw it on Raw too, man. Hugh Jackman's starting to look a little bit older.
Yeah,
So like
he's still jacked.
what does he got?
Yeah.
Like he's got maybe like 3 more Wolverine.
Oh, look at
movies.
Stallone. Look at Stallone still doing Rocky at like 60.
But different story. The Jackman said I think he's done after the third movie, after the next Wolverine movie. That's it.
And then maybe you could go to like a younger storyline,
Yeah.
But I mean, they're saying that Apocalypse is scheduled to come out 2016,
Okay.
May 2016.
2 years,
so,
man. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I just wish the Sentinels didn't look as
They look so crappy.
I know.
I hope that's because they're like the proto Sentinels. I hope that somehow that there's a little bit more to it. It's such an easy design. Like I don't understand why Singer has such an issue with the friggin' robots. Because as long as we were watching X-Men movies, they always said, "Oh, it's too costly to put robots in the movie. Can't do Sentinels."
Yeah.
Like you have all this other crap going on. You had the bridge turning into spaghetti in the one movie, but you can't have robots walking around.
Yeah, it's weird, man. And plus, like these what they're showing, they just look like personal fans.
Yeah.
They look like personal massagers also.
Yeah.
And also like another weird thing is that in X-Men 2, you saw a glimpse of a Sentinel being taken apart.
Oh, and the head drops and everything.
Right. So it makes kind of like zero sense.
And it was like pretty classic Sentinel head,
it was
right?
the Danger Room
Yeah.
with Colossus and Wolverine.
It was a classic head though with the bars.
So
and
I have a
everything.
question. How do you think they're going to introduce Apocalypse? Because that's a complicated storyline to introduce for film.
So easy. You have one scene of some history teacher talking about the roots of mutants and showing hieroglyphics of Apocalypse in ancient Egypt times, and saying this could be the first mutant that ever existed,
And the voiceover.
and have a cult involved with it throughout in the background.
But what was Apocalypse's story? He was just like a child.
he
that
was
abused?
he was one of the very first mutants. Yeah,
and then he was like totally abused and like
he was a slave.
yeah.
Yeah.
Most slaves are abused.
He was like the opposite of Moses,
Yeah,
where he was a slave and rose up
and he took over.
Instead of freeing mutant kind, it's survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
I
I love Apocalypse.
Everyone does.
He's the greatest character. I mean, he's indestructible.
Well, it'll be nice to see X-Men without Magneto being the bad guy like in
Right.
every movie,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Is he a bad guy?
Apocalypse.
No, Magneto.
He's the Martin Luther King. He's the Malcolm,
Malcolm X.
to
Yeah.
Professor X's Martin Luther King
Yeah.
Jr.
Yeah.
Which is a good, it's a good analogy, but they don't really go into that. Now it's like with the movie franchise, it's just like that they were friends who had a disagreement.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they were,
Because you want to see them buddy.
And why is Xavier walking again in this movie?
I see. That's the hook for me to kind of be like, oh, what happened here?
I just thought it was sloppy writing. I didn't think there was anything like a bigger.
Is he
reveal or anything.
walking throughout the movie?
Well, the young one is because the end
The
of
young
the
one,
end of
yeah.
Origins ended with him getting crippled by
Yeah.
Magneto.
So how do you think the time travel is going to play into it?
Well, what do you mean?
Like as
how's-
far as like what's going to be because it's from what I assume it's Wolverine trying to piece everything together.
I think it's gonna be like Wolverine with Bishop and Blink and them, like and Blink using the teleporting to bring him back there because the Sentinels are now the biggest thing, and they've enslaved the mutant race and the whole nine. Like the classic storyline. I think it's gonna be
Right.
very, very like cut and dry, black and white, like nothing complicated about the time travel. Just gonna be we gotta go change the past and how are we gonna interact with people, and maybe we'll see young Jean Grey and like Wolverine will be like Jean.
Oh, well, you're gonna get that. So Wolverine travels to the past, grabs young Xavier,
Goes into his old body, goes
Uh-huh.
into young Wolverine body,
Mhm.
just like he probably did. And then he's like, Snick Bub, let's solve these problems.
Come with me to the future. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go to the future. I think most of it's gonna take place in the past.
So the next 3 films that are part of that franchise is Apocalypse, 2016, Wolverine 3, 2017, and then X-Force.
Yeah.
So does X-Force kind of continue the storyline, or is it going to
Well,
be
it depends on what X Force they do. They could do the cable stuff.
I think they're going to have to.
No, but they also do the much more popular current one is like the Wolverine like killing X-Men dude.
I think that's
More than likely
what they're
they
going to
do.
go. Because if you're getting the Guardians of the Galaxy with your updated thing, I think you're going to get an updated X-Force with
Let's get both
and because Warpath is in
this movie.
this movie,
Yeah.
right? It's not Thunderbird.
Not Thunderbird.
Okay, so you're getting Warpath, you're getting Blink, Quicksilver. I keep forgetting who we're
Scarlet
like.
Witch.
Scarlet Witch. Bishop. Mystique.
Scalp Hunter.
And you get
I hate Mystique.
Get out of
Can
here.
I tell you? I hate it.
Get outta
I
here.
hate that character.
Why?
I never did anything for me.
Great character. Great villain.
Mhm.
A lot of
Me,
depth
I
of
have
character.
purple skin.
And,
In the comic book,
blue
I
skin-
like
blue skin.
In the comic
in the-
book, I liked her.
Not in the movie.
Not
I
in the
agree
movie.
with. I agree with you
Not
on
in the
that.
movie.
Yeah.
I think they made her weird. I feel like they wanted
Yeah.
to put Psylocke in there, and then they kind of like they're like, oh well, this looks more like a complex role.
I like Jennifer Lawrence is Mystique
She's
in
improved
X-Men
it.
Origins.
I wasn't
Yeah.
crazy about Rebecca Romijn. Doing-
She looked
She
amazing.
looked amazing,
Yeah.
but I was never behind like the bumpy skin thing.
No,
No.
I think it's easier to do it that way because it covers up the lady parts.
Yeah, but you know what? I think the thing about Mystique is visually, like her costume hasn't really changed over the years.
Yeah.
I think she looks fantastic. The blue, the red, and like the white, with skulls and everything was such a cool look. And I think you can make an updated version of that.
Yeah.
But I didn't think we needed to go like the whole naked, bumpy skin thing.
I don't mind it at all. I don't mind that.
Smooth skin for me.
By the way, do you know what the budget for this one was?
Too much.
No, actually, it's one of the least one. Actually, no, it's a lot. $225 million.
It's a lot of fucking money.
It's a lot
It's
of
the
money.
highest budget that they've had. The lowest one was the first one, $75 million.
Yeah, because no one was investing.
Yeah, it
into
made
that stuff.
300 million worldwide. X-Men 2 made 407 million.
Mhm.
Last Stand made 459 million. Wolverine did 373. First Class did 353, and the Wolverine did 414 million.
That was actually a really excellent movie.
The
Yeah.
Wolverine.
The Wolverine.
last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really
Highest
enjoyed
gross.
It was good. I think it was the best of the bunch. I think
Yeah.
it was excellent. It
Yeah,
was good.
I think I
And that had Magneto and Xavier at the end too.
yes.
When they show up at the end.
Yeah. That's right. He's got bone claws in
Yeah.
this, and that's another part of the movie where like at some point
It's got metal.
he's gonna get that adamantium back.
Because they show him the bone claws in the commercial
Mhm.
and with metal claws.
Okay. So something's gonna happen. Well, that could just be him traveling to
Wolverines.
his old body. Two Wolverines.
Two Wolverines.
Mechanical Wolverine from the
Albert.
90s.
Albert.
I'll go check it out. I still got to see Captain America.
Captain America was the best. Captain America was such a satisfying film.
When is Burnout gonna happen though?
Which one?
Like when is? See, that's the. I feel like it's
the burnout has to
It's
happen.
interesting because Cap was extremely well reviewed, well rated.
The first one.
You saw this one. Like
Yeah.
you saw it, you loved it, liked it better than the first one, right?
Yeah.
I
I think it's in all of the Avengers movies. That's my favorite one.
Spider-Man got terrible reviews so far. Spider-Man comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right now, do you think the Burnout on X-Men will hinge on Spider-Man at all?
See, that's the thing is I think the burnout's going to happen elsewhere beyond. I think that's the one benefiting part of having like the Avengers property being separate from the X-Men world and Spider-Man world. I think you'll definitely get it from the X-Men stuff more than likely, which will hopefully be the thing that eventually allows them to sell it back to Marvel.
Okay.
I think the Avengers stuff is just being handled very smart, and I think they're getting better at what they do. If Captain America is any indication of where it's going, because I definitely was feeling the burnout with Thor too.
Okay.
I can't get through that movie.
I love that movie.
I got it. One day I'll do it. One day I'll get to the whole thing.
See, and that's like psychologically and also like monetarily, like it's very expensive to go to the movies now. And I've had this conversation with like at least 6 people this week about how Sunday afternoon, I was like, oh, let's go see Captain America 2. And I looked up ticket prices and I was like $16.75. No, that's not happening.
Where are you going for $16.75
Fresh Meadows
for 3D?
for 3D.
I don't do 3D.
But it's $2 cheaper to not get the 3D, so $14.75.
I usually buy the 3D package regardless of anything, but I realize that I really should because you really can't see all the action because it's so much dimmer.
Right.
It's not as I feel like I'm losing out, so I made the justification not to do it anymore.
And like your movie ticket prices are between
It's a night out.
in the city. Yeah, you're going between like let's say $11 and $15 per ticket. And I think that factors into the burnout because like let's say you bought a ticket for Cap and you're like, oh, this is awesome. I love comic books. I'm gonna go see Spider-Man. Well, this movie sucked. I'm gonna go see X-Men. Well, this movie sucked. Then you're out. You're kind of just like, what makes that same person go see Guardians of the Galaxy?
Hoping
it doesn't suck.
Well, I think because no one knows anything about Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, that movie it's a Marvel property, but you could tell that movie just being a wacky sci-fi movie, which honestly there isn't much of a market for anymore. But
Right.
I think they did cut a really incredible trailer that would draw people into it.
Yeah.
And the novelty of a raccoon. But I don't think the
You got Bradley Cooper raccoon.
I don't think the quality of the film matters that much to the overall want for people to keep coming back.
Mhm.
I mean, like, I love the Fast and Furious movies because they're a piece of garbage,
Yeah.
but they keep coming back for those movies. I mean, we're still talking about friggin' what's his name, the guy who died.
Vin Diesel.
No, but he's alive and well.
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker.
Yeah.
You're still talking about like how his death is going to affect this franchise,
Right.
which is a franchise about driving cars around a circle.
Right.
And like DVD sales again, like a piece of crap movie can do a fortune on DVD sales. So financially, I don't think it's going to hurt it too much. I don't think the ticket price is going to hurt overall. I think they're going in the wrong direction with the main Spider-Man. I think they're throwing too much crap in there again. Like that's what the common quote about the movie is, that it's just a lot of like bad narrative. And
A lot
just
of stuff.
A lot of stuff happening. I think X-Men, if it's any indication of what I've seen from Bryan Singer, it's probably going to be very subpar, and I think it could burn people out. But I don't think it's going to affect the movies until the original cast starts leaving.
Okay.
Like I think like once Tony leaves, the Robert Downey Jr. thing, it's going to affect the overall want from these people for whatever reason.
Yeah. But also, you're getting under the Marvel/Disney banner. You're also getting a new Star Wars.
Well, that's what I want to talk about also.
Let's talk about that Star Wars.
I'm super psyched for freaking Star Wars, man.
So am I, man.
I know this guy's super psyched for Star Wars.
Don't tell the story.
Shaking his head.
I
Shaking
hate
his head.
Star Wars.
I
I don't want to know about Robot Man and Tin Can Boy.
So they announced the cast this week. You got
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Oscar Isaac from Inside Llewyn Davis.
Mhm.
You've got what's his name? Doom Hall.
Peter Mayhew is Chewbacca.
You have the original cast. You have the entire
Yeah.
all the regular dudes. You have C-3PO, R2-D2,
R2-D2.
R2-D2. What's his name? Princess Leia, Han Solo, all those dudes. Luke Skywalker.
Max von Sydow.
Max von Sydow probably gonna be the new like big bad guy, or the new Obi-Wan.
Okay.
They have Black Guy as the guy top billing, from Attack the Block. Really good movie.
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba. Oscar Isaac. Who's the other one that's in it? Adam Driver from Girls.
Right.
One girl has been cast. They said they're doing another one. I'm psyched for these movies, man. I haven't been this psyched about Star Wars in a long time because I know that's not gonna be a George Lucas project.
Right. That's the thing, man. Like, this is dream come true, because what's his Andy Serkis?
Andy Serkis, yeah. He's gonna play the new Chewbacca.
He's the new Chewbacca. Yeah.
Chewbacca.
Everybody that you just mentioned, along with Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Kenny Baker,
Who's the guy? Doomhole. What's his name?
Domhnall Gleeson.
Yeah, what's his name? Gleason's son. Brendan Gleeson.
Okay.
Gleason Jim.
And this is, and like I'm hoping it's, like you're getting episode 7.
You are.
You're getting like
a legit like
yeah.
sequel to a movie.
I love. I cannot wait.
And I was so I guess because I was very against this because of there's been so much extended universe stuff, and we've seen what happens after Star Wars. But now that they officially said none of that stuff happened, we're recreating the future. Whatever is in the movies is going to be canon. It's really exciting.
Yeah,
I think we're going to get Boba Fett. They'd be stupid if they don't have Boba Fett return in this.
Yeah,
Big time.
It's gonna be good, man. I hope it's gonna be. We know with the revitalization of the Star Trek franchise and the Star Wars franchise.
Well, Lindelof did an incredible job with Star Trek.
Yes, he did.
Much to the dismay of a lot of Star Trek people, but I think
Shut up.
yeah, exactly. I think it's awesome freaking movies.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be more of what we want. All I want is the same aesthetic as the first couple of movies. I want that same type of set design. Yeah. You don't have to go crazy with stuff,
but with the action of the prequels.
Yeah. I want an improvement on the fight scenes, obviously, right. But the set dressing I want back to the degree that they had before. Like I want stuff to look dirty. I want stuff to look like it's actually like a hub planet where people are coming and going. I want it to look like freaking Star Wars.
See, that's the thing, man. Like a lot of people dump on the prequels, but there's a weird place in my heart for them. They're not the greatest written movies ever made, right?
The prequels,
but aesthetically phenomenal.
The prequels,
yeah,
I don't think so.
Aesthetically phenomenal flicks. The fight scenes, all the action scenes tremendous, and that if you can take those prequels and then learn from the mistakes that were made in them and then apply them to the new Star Wars flicks, we're in for mind-blowing Star Wars for the next 10 years. We're getting mind-blowing Star Wars flicks.
See, when I talk about the aesthetics of the movie, I'm talking about like the ship designs and like the background crap. Like, I don't want more of Naboo. I don't want more glowing cities and stuff like that.
But they nailed the Coruscant.
Yeah. But and even like what was their big war they had? The first one, like the Gungan, they had the Gungan battle, right? In the first one,
I think so. They had the pod race too in the first one, which was kind of cool.
The climax,
stupid, but it was cool.
The Darth Maul fight was awesome. All the fights were really good. But I want a certain degree of like old school feeling to it. I want like pockets. I want clothes like clothes.
You want more swashbuckling.
Not swashbuckling, but I just there's a certain thing, like if you were to design a Star Wars toy to exist in the Star Wars universe, you'd have it look a certain way. If you have like a spaceship you're making, it'd look a certain way. If you're building a playset that shows the inner workings of a space station, it'd look a certain way.
Yeah.
Like the lit floors and stuff like that. Like, I want like it to feel like Star Wars. That was the biggest problem I had with the original Star Wars, aside from being poor movies, was that that didn't feel like Star Wars. It didn't feel. It just felt like another space movie.
Okay.
With big dog-eared people.
See, they felt very Star Warsy to me, but it wasn't the story I wanted to hear told.
No.
It wasn't. Because again, like Lucas was the guy in charge of the prequels, which I feel like he definitely shouldn't have been, and I think that's David Lynch's fault, because he wanted David Lynch to do the prequels, and he was like, "Why don't you do them, George Lucas?"
He wanted to do it since the beginning. He wanted him to do the second one.
Well, I mean, thank God that didn't happen. But
yeah, I would have liked to have seen an Empire Strikes Back done by David Lynch.
I think Empire is perfect the way it is, but I think David Lynch doing the prequels leading up to Anakin's demise, absolutely
would be great.
I would have loved to see that, because you would have gotten some kind of like weirdo twist.
What they should have never they should have done is not done the first movie at all. They should have had, do a quick story about Anakin.
Baby Anakin.
Yeah, no baby Anakin, pod racing, no need for that. Like, when I think of Vader, the last thing I think about is how much of an awesome spaceship guy he was.
Uh-huh.
How much of a pilot he was. The dude crashes in the first movie.
Right.
Not that great. And he was Big Van Vader.
Yeah. See, I would have liked him to be too old, like, and this is my take on it. We can debate this up and down forever, but ideally, looking back on those flicks, because and it goes from like the little nods from the original set of movies, like trying to tell the history within this massive universe, and there's a story going on.
But they don't tell you any history of it,
right? Like what I would have done, like one of the first things Obi-Wan says to Luke is, "Your father was a great star pilot." When I met him. I wouldn't have had him as a kid in the prequel. I would have had him
as a teenager joining up with like becoming a pilot.
Right. Like,
makes sense, right?
17, 18, and I would have had him be with C-3PO already.
Well, yeah. Well,
he built him and he's walking around.
I don't like the idea of him building C-3PO. I hate that. Because like he didn't have any insight into him later on.
The slave thing is weird.
I don't believe it. Yeah, I don't like believing this. Like, yeah,
little too Moses.
I think it should have been a direct parallel to
Luke.
Yeah, exactly. It should have been first movie, him as a young man.
Yeah.
Whether it be, like him, like you said, like him being like the Jedi, like the academy, not the Jedi Academy, like the pilot academy and stuff like that, and him starting out with that, and maybe him meeting Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and all that stuff.
And you could have still had the pod race.
But do you need to have the pod race?
Yeah.
You didn't have to have that.
You didn't have to have it, but it was cool.
But like the only other like real lore they really built up was like the Emperor stuff,
right?
And which you kind of knew already, and the Boba Fett stuff, and the Clone Wars, the Clone Troopers.
Right. See, the Emperor stuff I really enjoyed in the prequels.
He was good.
The clone stuff was excellent. Which was like, because I liked the second one, Attack of the Clones, because it was very, like, that's the thing with the second one. It was dark, but it wasn't as dark as Empire. Because that's
it was dark because it was mostly shot in dark scenes. It was like there's a rainstorm happening half that movie.
Right, like Obi-Wan goes to like the planet that's like the
rain planet, yeah.
Right, the rain planet, and he discovers that like, holy crap, they're cranking out like these
Jango
dudes.
Fett's, a bunch of Samoans.
Right. I think he's from
New Zealand.
Yeah. Right? That they're cranking out these dudes, and it was kind of a cool thing. Again, like,
But that's the thing is like you like when you talk about these movies, you talk about the talking points. Like you know, pod race, Boba Fett, clones getting cut in half.
Right.
Like there's no like at the heart of it, like if Star Wars is supposed to be the story of corruption, story of you know, if you start with Star Wars 1, it's about Anakin Skywalker getting corrupted, finding redemption at the end of the story. Right? You don't even get a progression of him going and turning to an asshole. He was a sweet kid, a kind of a dumb teenager, and then all of a sudden an asshole. Like he finds out maybe his wife is hurt up
just on the deck of the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, and like I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna kill my brother for the most part.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about the no?
Awful. Everything about those movies. There's nothing. There's and when it comes down to it, the small redeeming factors of those movies are so overshadowed by some of the worst filmmaking I've ever seen in terms of money being thrown at it. That's just as bad as like.
I think poor casting had a lot to do.
Casting was terrible. I mean, Ewan McGregor was perfect as Obi-Wan.
Love Qui-Gon Jinn, man.
Yeah, I mean, and Mace Windu did his part, and like did some okay Yoda stuff in it and everything. But
there's a lot of cool Yoda stuff in it.
And I do like the choices for Boba and Jango. I do think that was some cool stuff, and it was pure fan service. They didn't have to do any of that stuff.
Right. Introduction of the other Jedis, the Jedi Council stuff was cool. Count Dooku was awesome.
Count Dooku was cool. What's his name was also good. The Sidious. General Sidious.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's like, and that's just, you know, like, that's cool stuff. But that's 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. There's still like the tapestry of 3 friggin' movies. Right. They've been waited for 20 years.
No Jar Jar.
No Jar Jar.
See, that's the thing that drives me up a wall is that within Jar Jar, George Lucas wanted to make a new Chewbacca. Can't make a new Chewbacca.
But it's not even close to Chewbacca. Like Chewbacca was such
that lovability.
Yeah. And he had a personality. Like he had a legit personality without ever having to say an English word.
Right.
And he had, like, honestly, man, Han Solo brought a lot to the table.
Oh yeah.
You go back and watch any of the original stuff, and like that dude was in almost every single freaking scene, killing it.
Always over it.
Still love the his voice in Star Wars in Star Wars 1 when he does the with New Hope, when he does the like, hey, what's going on down there? And he gets
nothing.
That weird Harrison Ford voice. And apparently he has one of the bigger roles in the film.
Beautiful. Yeah. I think the movie's going to start, episode 7 is going to start with Luke, Leia, Chewie, and Han all aboard the Millennium Falcon.
Eating sandwiches.
And then just blow it up.
I hope it's more complicated than just like these are the kids. You know, of like this is the next generation. It's their people. They're going to reshape the universe. Anything. I want some cool, complicated like political stuff with them and like do some.
You know you're going to get that. You know you're going to get Han Solo strapped into like a senator position because he was. I
don't want that.
But you know he's gonna. It's gonna be the Han Solo thing where like he breaks out of it and he
fought Gary Oldman. He knocked the guy out of the plane. I don't want that.
You're getting Air Force. You're getting Air Force
Millennium Falcon.
I'd pay to see that.
I really wish it would keep some of the stuff from like the old books with like there are like pockets of the Empire still left over there, still trying to rebuild and almost like a Hydra type.
They're like
thing.
the South.
But I want it to be. But I want it to also feel like it's new shit. Like I don't want to feel like I'm just seeing, you know, the 2014 version of Star Wars. I want to actually have some weight behind it.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
I'm
psyched.
I'm pretty pumped, man. I want to go watch Star Wars.
A lot of money being pumped into those movies too.
That Disney money. Get that Disney money, bro.
I think they'll do a good job.
Yeah.
I think Lindelof will leave after the. Is Lindelof? No, it's
J.J. Abrams.
Same
would you lose your shit if the end of the first Star Wars movie, Wolverine materializes somewhere
and the Transformers come in?
Yep.
Oh man! I mean, they could literally do as much Marvel Star Wars crap they can handle.
Wolverine, bro.
Would your head explode if they did that?
I think it'd be
like all of a sudden, like Magneto shows up in space.
And honestly, in my heart of hearts, it would be a terrible freaking idea.
But you want to see it.
But no, I like to see a comic book about that. Like I would like to see like a side project with that.
But you know what? You know what could very well happen, because when's the first flick coming out? Like next year?
Like or 2 years or something.
Like 2 years or whatever. And it's
supposed to come out like every year or two.
Okay. I feel like you're gonna get a little nod to Guardians of the Galaxy. You're gonna see the ship, or you're gonna see something.
I think you're gonna see a lot of that.
Yeah, I think it'll be like how Pixar treats like their other movies. I think it'll be like you'll see like a license plate that says like Rocket Raccoon or something like that
in the background.
Yeah,
well, you can easily blend the two universes too, because the Guardians cast are very are very Star Wars.
We don't need that though. We don't need to start
tree, raccoon, Earth,
Dagobah.
Earth guy.
You're gonna see Batista's jeans somewhere.
Batista's jeans.
Batista.
I just want them to keep it simple in terms of their roots when it comes from. I don't need like
You don't want Batista.
no.
By the way,
Space
my father's
Batista.
very excited about this.
Of course, he's
Star
a smart
Wars.
man. Very
he
smart
loves
man.
Star Wars.
Because
He literally watches it every month.
I'm about to subject my girlfriend to watch a Star
He
Wars. 'cause
called
she's never seen it before.
the new ones that they did.
She's
He
one of
goes, he doesn't like Anakin because he says he's a little bitch.
He's a little bitch.
Yeah.
He's right.
That's what.
But he
Like,
get-
you just called Darth
ready,
Vader.
Get ready for a million questions.
Well, no, it is like the reason why she never watched it is because the only like she never had like the older brother that made her watch or anything like that.
It's anti-Korean.
It's anti-Korean. But they also the only thing she's really seen is from the prequels.
Oh,
So it's like, yeah, like of
Oh,
course
that's
you're
weird.
not gonna want to watch this crap.
like
Like you get young Harrison Ford, coolest dude in the world,
man.
Billy D,
I know. I always kind of felt
Lobot.
Nobody cares about the incest twins. And
Oh, they're so good.
Zuckus is
Empire has one of my favorite openings to a
IG-88.
film.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like the whole like out in the snow thing, and then the battle that comes afterwards, and
The
like
escape.
Vader showing up and against the all white, like it's awesome looking stuff. And then
did
and
like-
then splitting them off.
I'll tell you, I did like the last one that he did.
Jedi or
Revenge of the Sith,
or
the
Revenge of
prequels
Yeah,
The prequel
last
movies.
one from the prequel.
where he gets cut in half.
Yeah, that one was.
That was the better
okay.
one. That was the best one.
Well, the last fight makes up for it.
You had the ending that you want.
I have the I have the higher ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the ending was cool. How they show you he became Darth
I hate
Vader.
that.
Him melting was pretty ridiculous. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Yeah, we also as soon as the scene starts up, like, oh, of course they're gonna have the last battle on a lava planet.
Yeah. You gotta get melted,
He
man.
has
You
to
gotta
get melted.
scarred up and melted.
So, but also I never got behind the idea that he was so young and he got transformed into
Yeah, that bothered me.
Vader because
Yeah.
like there's like how old was Luke when he started out? Like he was a teenager, he was like 15, 16 years old,
He was like 16.
maybe even 17, 18. And like what's his name was a gnarly old man, Vader.
Yeah.
He like the little bit of skin that was still alive.
Well, they
on his
had like
face.
20-something year difference, right?
Like yeah.
Yeah, I'll give him 20 years.
Okay.
At
So he was
the-
like 40 at
yeah.
most.
I
Yeah,
think
most.
first Star Wars flick, let's say Luke is 17, right? 17, 18.
Yeah.
Last Star Wars flick, let's say he's 30.
No,
No.
way. You kidding me? It's
Jedi,
the-
he's
no.
30 in Jedi.
No,
That's
no way.
possible. Wait a minute. No, it is
mid to late
possible.
20s. Mid to late 20s in Jedi.
No, because the relationship between Han Solo and there's a year. There's like a year between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
I think there's more than a year.
no, because the relationship is still new between Solo and Leia.
I think it's, but
Not because of the Carbonite.
I think it's been more than a year
No, I think it's just because we've seen so much Shao's the Empire crap between that.
because he has to because he completes his training.
But
Yeah.
So if he's 30, that means Darth Vader is 50.
But that's his assumption. There's,
so
there's
let's
no
say-
fact saying that
Okay,
he's
but
30
if he's
years old.
25, let's say he's 25.
I don't think that 5 years happened between the first one.
You
and
think
the-
like only like 2 years
one
happened?
of the things about Luke is that he like passed all the trials like very quickly and at a younger age than most other people did because he was
Okay, so he's between
He's the
40 and
Jesus.
50.
who
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. Yeah.
He's-
Originally, I don't think so. I think he was supposed to be an old. He's supposed to be like Obi-Wan Kenobi's age,
Yeah.
or a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't that much of an age difference when he.
How
became
old is Obi-Wan?
He's ageless.
Timeless.
Yeah.
Timeless, some might say.
I mean,
Like a Rolex.
he was like he was Alec Guinness in 1980s. He was an older gentleman.
Yeah. That guy aged in 18 years, man.
I still can't. Two things before we wrap it up. I can't believe Max von Sydow is still alive. God bless
yeah?
him. And I still can't believe that Christopher Lee is still alive.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember back when the Lord of the Rings first came out. Because I hope they somehow incorporate him into these movies. I remember reading that they had to refilm a lot of stuff with like digital because Christopher Lee was so sick in the original trilogy,
Yeah.
and he's still doing Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yep.
Crazy.
Dad's gonna show up as Dooku again.
Dracula. I want to just show up as Dracula finally.
All right, everybody. This has been another episode of Behind the Counter. We'll see you soon. Good night. I'm Rich.
Ciao.